In the next circle, you'll see her start to cut in and me begin to shake my lead rope as a reminder to maintain a physical boundary. I find that the average horse responds better to shaking than a physical contact, as the shaking is a reminder to stop and come back and think about what they're doing, where oftentimes they learn to rely on the physical contact and they will continuously come in towards their handler until they achieve the physical touch that is the cue to send them back out, resulting in a behavioral pattern instead of the horse processing what's being asked of them and finding the correct decision. In this clip, I'm working with her on a jaw release. I have my hand lightly placed over the top of her nose and my thumb slipped gently in between her teeth and her mouth to encourage a little bit of licking and chewing and getting her to reduce the tension stuck in her jaw and up through her poll. As she begins to relax into it, you'll see her start to lower her head, open her mouth slightly larger, moving her neck up and down and side to side slightly to help release the tension. Next, you'll see me move to putting a physical connection under her top lips along her gum line. She's still figuring this one out and is a little bit nervous as we get into the position. My goal is to maintain a light contact and allow her to move around where she feels she needs to be able to truly release that tension. Right about here is when she decided it felt good and started to relax into it, and you'll see her start to lick and chew and lower that head and breathe. Horses can't move their lower jaw independently of their upper, so by maintaining a light physical contact, I allow her to push into it, which allows her to be able to independently move that lower jaw and really release the tension up through her TMJ. I release and step back to give her time to process what she just did. She lowers her head. And you'll see that she wanted to move her feet a little bit, but there's plenty of licking and chewing here, so I let her go ahead and walk around for a second. Now I begin to do just a couple of simple neck stretches with her, again, just working with her on trying to release that pole. I've noticed she has a lot of tension up through that area, so I've been finding a lot of stretching and releases to be very helpful for her, especially learning to regulate in new environments. She's definitely a bit stiffer to the right and definitely has a harder time and is more reluctant about bending around and releasing that pole in this direction. Here you'll start to see me work with her on an independent pole release. This is something that a lot of chiropractors often do, and I know she's a bit sensitive up in the pole area and by her ears. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, I do feel she has a lot of tension in that area. So we've started to introduce it slowly so she can learn to be comfortable with it. Horses often hold a lot of tension through their poll as it's the primary connection to keep their head attached to their body. Due to their anatomy and their lifestyle, the only time that a horse can self-release their poll is when they're laying flat out during REM sleep. Oftentimes during transitions and new and stressful environments, horses don't spend as much time in REM sleep, so the tension has a tendency to build. I'm asking her just to place her nose on my shoulder, and I'm putting very light contact on her neck just to encourage her to relax down and put all of the weight of her head on me so she can release the tension fully while still standing up. To end, I decided we should have a little bit of fun. I wanted to see where her focus was and how much attention she was paying to my physical cues in my body. Here you see me moving her around on a loose lead line, asking her to think about what I'm doing and just mimic my actions.